Striking out on your own can be challenging, which is why finding inspiration from fellow entrepreneurs can be quite helpful, especially in property. Wealth Alliance co-founder Sylvia Milosevic joins us now in studio to share her journey, hopefully inspire and encourage potential property entrepreneurs. Welcome and thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you, Desiree. Thank you for having me here.
When I saw Sylvia Milosevic, I didn't expect...
I know.
What's the story?
Okay, so when I turned 21 years old, I had a great opportunity to go and work overseas in the US. And a few years later, I met a wonderful and handsome man. Yeah. His name is Milan Milosevic. He's all the way from Serbia, but we met in the US. So
and he's your business partner?
He's my business partner as well. So we fell in love and got married, and I took the surname. So my full name is Koketso Sylvia Milosevic.
Lovely.
There you go.
So tell us about the business journey.
So the business journey has been exciting. It wasn't, an easy ride from the beginning, but it stemmed from a deep desire, from a point of, we started investing. I've been investing in property for the last 15 years.
You say this started while you were overseas?
You mean the Wealth Alliance business or
the investment, property investment?
So personally, I started investing in property from the age of 23.
Yeah.
And the first 8 years of me investing in property, I did it completely wrong. So what I did was I read books on property. Any book you can think of, I read that book. And all I did was take everything I learned from the books and I went out there and applied it in practice.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, I didn't have any support. I didn't have anyone who would say to me, Sylvia, this is not how you buy property. Before you buy property, you want to look at this, you want to look at that. So I didn't have that support.
How were you able to secure financing in the beginning?
So a good thing is that because I worked overseas, I was saving money. So when I would come home, I would just be buying properties. And every time I would be buying properties, I would be buying from, estate agents, from new developers.
What kind of work were you doing, if we may ask?
Overseas. So I was working on cruise ships in the casino field. I was a casino dealer.
So there is a lot of money to be made, as they say.
Well, if you're earning in dollars and then you come into South Africa, the exchange rate, yes, in that aspect.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So most people, when they hear about property investment, the first thing they think of is buying houses. Is that all it's about?
I think it's much more than that. Property investing is not just a one-man band whereby, it's just buying property and getting tenants to move in. You have to look at it larger than that. You have to set it up as a business. So think of it, whether you're starting with that first buy to let, but you should have proper structures from the business. I mean, from the beginning. You set it up as a business to say, okay, today I start off with a buy-to-let, and we make sure that when you're going to be investing in a buy-to-let strategy, make sure that your properties are cash flowing from day one. Traditionally, a lot of people have been taught that, how to invest in properties. You buy properties today with the sole purpose of holding on to it for the long term for capital appreciation. But no one really can guarantee you what's going to happen to the market. No one can tell you what's going to happen to property in South Africa 7 years from today. So investing in property in that aspect, in my point of view, I think that, it's completely wrong. I feel like you are speculating. And I feel like it's gambling. So the right with investing in property is that you want to make sure that even if it's a buy-to-let, buying a property with the purpose of letting in a tenant to move in, to rent out, you want to make sure that as soon as the tenant moves in...
What people call an investment property.
Correct. So what it is that when a tenant moves in, by the time they pay you the rent, you want to make sure that that rent covers all expenses and leaves you with a profit. Now that profit, we call it cash flow.
Okay.
So you want to make sure it makes you money from day one. You want to invest in an asset that is self-sufficient, it pays back itself and leaves you with an income. And you start it off like that because ultimately at the end of the day, the goal should be that you want to get a lot of cash flow from property, that eventually that cash flow should be sufficient to your income. Now, if you get to a point whereby you're getting, let's say if your salary is 30,000 rands per month, and now you've built a portfolio of property that's now giving you a monthly cash flow worth 30,000, that's equivalent to your salary.
You're
now
talking about a situation where the environment is ideal. What about those times when it isn't and you need to bring in some sort of money, but you're not always going to be making surplus?
So the way we train our students on how to invest in property is that you should be able to make money in any market, regardless of whatever market it is. So the types of areas and types of, when we're looking at the buy-to-let strategy, the types of areas that we invest in, we don't invest in your high-end market. We typically invest in what we call your entry-level market.
Where there's a real need.
Where there's a real need.
Okay,
And
which kind of areas do you go into?
So we typically look at all the areas. So all the areas that have been around for the last 10, 20,
your
30 years.
Rosettenvilles.
Your Rosettenvilles, your Bramleys, your Windsor, your Denville in Pretoria.
You're also going to student accommodation?
We also do student accommodation. So we focus on multi-lets. We focus on high-density residential developments. Obviously, right now in the country, there's a huge need for student accommodation. There's a huge demand. Last time I checked, there was a shortage of about 600,000 beds across the country. So yes, there's a great opportunity there.
Let me take you back a bit. I know we're talking about property development, but you were saying something about students. Where does that come in?
Student accommodation.
I thought you were saying you teach your students.
Oh yes. So from Wealth Alliance, we are a property educational company. We educate people on how to invest in property.
All right.
So we call all our clients, we call them our students because they are students. So they come through, we've got a campus, we've got our office in Fourways, so they come through the campus.
Oh, wow.
So we typically run 2-day master classes where they come in and we teach them about all the principles of investing in property from, different types of strategies. There's about 15 most powerful strategies. We teach them on how to invest in property, in some cases without using any of your money. There's about 10 different ways for you to invest in property. We teach them about negotiations. We teach
How long have you been in operation?
For the last 2 years.
What kind of feedback have you gotten so far?
Incredible.
By the time your students leave, are they able to get some sort of experience on the market, and are they yielding results?
That's a fantastic question. So at the end of the 2 days, they have literally a toolbox. They've got like a toolbox. They know what they need to know. I mean, they know what they need to do to start investing in property. So we give them all the tools from negotiations to how to raise money to go into deals, to what types of strategies are out there. Typically, a lot of people will know 1 or 2. We teach them about 15 most powerful strategies. We also teach them about developments as well. And most importantly, how to set it all up as a business.
When you say development, what do you mean?
We're talking about residential developments. We're talking about commercial properties, whether be it the office space or retail space or wholesaling or industrial. So we teach them pretty much the 360 degrees to property investing. And starting from inception, whether you're starting from the beginning or you already have started investing in property, but you find yourself stuck and you want to get into your high density residential development. So we teach pretty much everything about property, that in that 2 days when someone leaves, at least they've got, a toolbox full of tools for them to get started. We also get students who say, you know what, Sylvia, I do see the point, and I got it, and I'm inspired, and I love everything that I've learned, but I'm scared. I'm scared. I don't know if I can do this by myself. So we also offer support in a form of coaching and mentorship for those who say, you know what, I wanna apply everything I've learned in these 2 days, but I'm gonna need someone to hold my hand. Someone to overlook everything, because that's where a lot of people make mistakes, and that's how I made mistakes when I started investing. Is I read books and I went out there by myself and did it, and as a result of that, I lost a lot of money.
So you reckon there's value in mentorship?
Oh, totally. It's a principle I apply in every single field of my life. Every single thing that I want to.
Who do you go to for mentoring, though? I mean, we're just wrapping up Women's Month, and you've heard woman after woman after woman saying, I don't want people to just come to me for mentorship.
Really? They say that?
Picture. You get that sense sometimes, especially the women who are seen to be well accomplished in the fields that they're in. They almost like shun the concept of mentorship. How do you know who to go to and how to approach it, how to start that conversation?
Personally, I'm a huge believer of mentorship. I also do give mentorship, and that's how I pave it forward for others. For me to be where I am today was based on role models I had and through mentorships that I've had from other women. So I'm a whole total believer in supporting others to grow to where they need to. So where I go to, so I consider myself a successful woman. I'm a gladiator. So where I go to fill up my cup is through there's several people. One of them who has a huge impact in my life. Her name is Lisa Nichols. She's a global transformational speaker. She's a dynamite woman. She's one of the teachers or speakers on the movie The Secret. So, and she's coming to South Africa next week, so I'm excited, next weekend. So she lives in the US. So she's the woman that I go to for
Yeah,
support.
I think most people know Lisa Nichols.
Yes, there you go. So that's where I go to.
Even though the South African economy seems to be a bit subdued right now,
right,
there seems to be a boom in commercial property development. Everywhere you go, you see malls being built up, you see new townhouses being built up. What involvement do your students have in all of these processes taking place all around the place?
So so at the moment right now, yes, South Africa is hurting. And as I said to you, we teach our students to invest in any market. So majority of our students, where they find, they go where the opportunities are. So for example, right now, there's a huge need for student accommodation. Right now, at the moment, there's fantastic and great opportunities for inner city redevelopment. So that's where they go where the opportunities are. And we teach them on how to run feasibility studies. We teach them how to put together your professional teams. You know, we teach them which financial institutions will fund such opportunities for them. And on top of that, what we've also done at Wealth Alliance, which is something incredible, and I don't think any company in South Africa does that, is we've also partnered up with some of the top property developers in the country. Property developers who came on board and say, you know what, we are prepared, we are willing to help others, to transform others, to give mentorship to others. And they take our students by the hand to take them out there.
So there's a philanthropy aspect to it.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
It's bigger than the business, but it's how can we transform lives? How can we teach people about a plan B, that, you know, while you're employed and having then one salary, how can you set up multi-income stream? Yeah, so that's the foundation and the basis of the companies. How can we help make South Africa a better place through teaching people tools, financial, educational tools, and one of those is through property investing.
How do you measure your success?
How do you measure your success? You mean me personally?
Personally or wealth creators?
I think, you know what, it all starts with a goal. Yeah. I personally measure my success based on achieving my goals. I set monthly goals, I set 6 months goals, I've got yearly goals, I've got 5 year, I've got 10-year goals. So every milestone that I hit, I've achieved my goal. I'm not hard on myself, but I also live by setting goals. That gets me to the next level.
And the success of your students?
And oh yes, that's a huge one. So we pride ourselves of that. So when we start working with our students, when I have my students and I start working with them on a mentorship, our mentorship program typically lasts for 6 months, minimum 6 months to max 12 months, depending on which program they go for. So my success would be when I work with a student in 6 months, when they've achieved a minimum 2 property flips, buying property below market value, fixing it up and sell it. For me, that's huge success. And
this is in 6 months.
That's in 6 months. And the reason why for me it's a huge success.
And it actually happens.
It happens all the time. Yes, all the time. So the reason for me that's a success is that because they've done 2, yeah, they would have made the money, but for me, they now have the tools, they now have the skills, they now have the knowledge that will last them for a lifetime.
So I imagine from what you're saying then that people who come onto your course must be ready to get things done. It's not just a starter course.
No. And the reason I say no is because we do get students who come through the program who had never ever invested in property.
Okay.
And the reason why someone will achieve that success within 6 months is because they've got someone who's already experienced working with them. They're not alone.
Okay.
I think that automatically fast tracks the success. Because you're coming on, you're gonna learn. We do the 2-day masterclass where we give you all the tools, the skills, literally we empower you, get everything. And on top of that, we say, okay, now everything you've learned in that 2 days, now we've got 6 months to unpack it. In addition to that, you're gonna be having tasks that you're gonna need to do. And while you're doing those tasks, you still have the support on the side, whereby somebody will be overlooking every single thing that you're gonna be doing to ensure you don't make mistakes. And that's one of the fastest ways.
Sylvia, how do people get a hold of you?
So I have a personal website, sylviamilosevic.com, and if you go to my website, sylviamilosevic.com, I have on there a book on seven principles that I've used in property to achieve success. For those who'd like to attend our courses, we've partnered up with the Napoleon Hill Foundation, Think and Grow Rich in the US. So we trade under their brand. So they can go to thinkandgrowrich.co.za, thinkandgrowrich.co.za. So we also have all our events listed there, and they can come for them. Our initial events are for free. It's a 2-hour free event, so they can just come in just to experience it, and if it's for them, then they can move forward and come to our 2-day main trainings.
Fantastic. It's been awesome talking to you.
Thank you so much.
We wish you all the success, and we hope to see your brand grow and grow.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Desiree.
Sylvia Milosevic is a founder of Wealth Alliance, and she's talking to us about how you can grow in property development if you're keen, of course.